Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So in this video, I'm going to do something different. It has been requested for me to showcase my new Lego room, so I will do that in this video. But first, let me share more thoughts about Bitcoin and crypto overall. Now, last week, we know it was not a good Bitcoin week, even though Bitcoin is sitting at 64,000 right now. So again, we have been just basically going sideways for 3 months, okay? We haven't formed a new low. There's not any additional weakness or FUD versus what we have seen over the last 3 months. But I do recognize that, of course, Bitcoin did come down from 70,000 and some people are worried. Last week, just really a head scratcher. The US market was actually doing pretty well and Bitcoin was not following, so that's a bit of a head scratcher. Germany selling a whole bunch of Bitcoin on a spot market, that's a head scratcher, right? And also I saw that Fidelity itself sold a massive amount. In fact, close to $500 million outflew from Fidelity's FBTC fund, right? So these are all kind of head scratchers. And at this point, we can only speculate. We can only speculate why. Now, starting with Germany, that's the biggest head scratcher because you got to figure whatever Bitcoin or $3+ billion that they have was confiscated, yes, but there has to be someone intelligent enough to know that, hey, let's just sell it OTC. I don't get why they try to hide it. They actually sold on the spot exchanges, Coinbase, Kraken, and Bitstamp, I think, and one other, and you know, of course, Arkham found it. People saw it. I don't know why they did that. It's just kind of weird. It almost seems like they have no clue what's going on or they were doing it on purpose to kind of suppress the price. No clue why. But it does seem like the latest shows that they have now a little bit of inflow back in. Maybe they realize that people caught on and they don't want the attention. So now some of the Bitcoin that they had that they were planning on selling off, they're putting back in. It's just really weird. I have no idea why it happened, but hopefully it's over. Fidelity, a ton of people selling Fidelity's Bitcoin ETF. The weird thing is no one sold BlackRock, or at least BlackRock made up for it somehow by keep on buying with their other funds or something. BlackRock's fund had like no outflows, but Fidelity had like close to 500 million. A lot of people are speculating maybe because of how hot NVIDIA is. There are a lot of people just selling off and buying NVIDIA, right? Being very reactive, Wall Street. And it makes sense because NVIDIA right now is the hottest thing on Wall Street, even hotter than Bitcoin, you could argue. And it makes sense a lot of people are selling off just to buy more NVIDIA, right? But of course, we know that generally speaking, when people FOMO in, massive people FOMO into something, that's usually a top indicator. So NVIDIA may be taking a breather for quite some time shortly. They did have like 2 consecutive down days, so maybe that's coming and the money will flow back in. But can't really, we don't have any definitive data that shows why people sold off Fidelity. But it's just weird that they sold off more than, say, BlackRock. A lot more than BlackRock, so I don't know. Yeah, so I mean, basically what it comes down to is this, and right now we can only speculate, right? There are people that are selling miners also. Let's not forget miners. I just saw some data that I don't know if I quite believe, but this data shows that miners' average cost for mining a single Bitcoin is like $80,000 now, or 80,000 plus. I don't think that's right because before, prior to having that, it was like 26,000, 27,000. So you figure it should be about $57,000 to $60,000. So this 80,000, I don't quite believe, but nevertheless, we know miners are selling a little bit because they need to for operations to survive or to expand, right? So that makes sense. So, I mean, a lot of speculation right now, but ultimately we know that Bitcoin still has just been going sideways for 3 months. It could get back to 70,000 in no time, right? And we know that everything that you can measure Bitcoin with, the on-chain metrics, even a technical analysis, and the geopolitical macro conditions around the world and in the US, they're all going to help Bitcoin, and all these signals and patterns are showing that Bitcoin is ready to go higher. So just a matter of having more patience, guys. Just continue to do what you're doing. HODL, like what that says, just HODL it, and DCAing along the way. That's really all you need to worry about right now. Okay, with that said, let me show you the Lego room, all right? I have shown this before. It's a little bit updated, but overall, I think it's more or less the same, but let me show you. All right, let me zoom out a little bit so you get a full effect here. So, yeah, during my house build, I specifically built all these cabinets, right, for the Lego sets. Now, some people have argued, why didn't you build more? Well, there's only so much I could build in this room. And that shelf is basically just boxes, sets waiting to be built. So eventually it'll clear up. But I still have, I have a decent amount of empty shelves, I should say. So I think I'm good for now. To be honest, I haven't built that many sets recently. I started a Bowser set and the telephone booth set, but you know, work in progress, no rush. So this is the majority of my city to all the modular buildings. I had to rearrange it just so I could fit that Avengers Tower and make it somewhat fit on its own on a corner. But this is all the, you know, the modular buildings, right? So I have them back to back in these like their own city block, right? So yeah, you could see most of these are the modular buildings. Some of them are self creations like that IKEA, but every single modular building in existence I do have. There's a new one that came out, a city museum, that I have not built yet. I don't even know where to fit that, to be honest. There's actually no space because it's actually 1.5 plates, not one plate. If it was just one plate, it would fit there, but it's 1.5 plates, so I'm not so sure. But that Avenger Towers looks great by itself. It is definitely a very tall set. So that's what the city looks like, and the city museum is right there. So waiting for that to be built. But around, outside the city, around on the shelves, I do have a lot of brick heads waiting to be built, and I have these Lego heads, right? Basically every single one. The new ones, I have the Spider-Man not built, but Venom, Carnage. Here's all the Star Wars ones, and then Batman and Iron Man. A little bit more of the smaller sets. So just got done with this Polaroid, and there's another smaller camera waiting to be built. You got a foosball one over here that you could actually use and play, which is pretty cool. You have a Pac-Man Atari, and again, this actually lights up. Actually, no, not light up, but it actually moves around, which is really cool. You have a Super Nintendo with Mario, and this also moves around. It's hard to do one hand, but you can see it does move around. It's actually really cool. You got a typewriter, and then a few other sets here, architecture sets, Sesame Street. You got the up one. So over here, I kind of built mini communities. So here's like a beach side, right, with a little lighthouse. I do have the bigger lighthouse. It's not gonna fit in here, but you know, it's kind of like a little beach area. That's a modular set. Well, it's kind of like a standalone set. Here's another, like, with a smaller building sets, kind of like a, I don't know, town square or something like that, right? Here's a train station, Disney train station. And then around here, it's just like miscellaneous Technic sets. We got some of the carnival sets that are retired, like a merry-go-round, the Ferris wheel, the older Disney Castle, but there is a newer one. Don't have that yet. Down there is a roller coaster, and yes, there's another roller coaster that I haven't built. A lot of the Avenger stuff, Helicarrier, the older Hulkbuster, although there's a new one that I haven't built yet. Jurassic Park, this is from the Lego movie. Just a random Pyre sets, which is pretty cool. And then some of the Star Wars sets up there. The TIE Fighter, the Star Destroyer. And over here, the Globe, the piano, Home Alone, some of the space stuff, the Apollo set, the Discovery. There's a lighthouse, not lighthouse. This is a Ninjago ship, and this is the treehouse. Yeah, so and then over here, just miscellaneous cars. This Ferrari, this bus, the Mustang, the Camaro. You know, the bikes over here, and then more cars over here. That's a Technic Land Rover. Got the Bugatti over here, and yes, my Bugatti color is blue. And then more brickheads over here. Oh, and the gauntlets too. 2 gauntlets. I got a lot of these speed sets I have not built. These are cool. These are like part of the Chinese New Year, the Zodiac. So every year they release one. So I have one from every single year, except a few. And then over here, the Batman cars, the original Batmobile. Here's the Tumbler. These are cool. This is really cool. I really love this one. This one, it was hard to build. And then here's another one of the recent Batman. That is not as big. This is all like the Chinese New Year stuff. Lego has these Chinese sets that they release every single month. So I do have those as well. And then all these are part of those that I have not built too. You know, a lot of those. Yeah, and then as for the sets, you know, I talked about I have that lighthouse, the Captain America shield. This is the new roller coaster, the new Eiffel Tower, the new Hulkbuster. Yeah, you know, and a few other stuff. The Spider-Man, the Ghostbusters car. These are all unbuilt, by the way. The Batwing, the Atari. This is the new museum. So, and all these. Yeah, so that's kind of my Lego room. These are Legoland sets. I don't know if they're retired yet, but all the ones on top, the little sets, are gifts. Those can't be bought from the store, so I always save them because they go up in price after a while. I got this stacked up, just miscellaneous pieces. This also miscellaneous pieces. These are the individual pieces. I used to, you know, take a lot of time to sort this out and find extra pieces, missing stuff, and also use them to build, but have not really touched them for a while. And then this is the older Eiffel Tower, and here's the wind tower. So if I build a new Eiffel Tower, which is even bigger than this, it's like a foot above this one. So I could technically put it side by side and make it fit, but I don't know where to put this wind tower. It's just enormous. And some of the bigger sets, like the Titanic and stuff, I don't have. I don't know. Like eventually I could put it somewhere, but I don't really know. So that's it for my Lego collection. You know, these days don't have a lot of time to build, but I still love collecting. Whenever I see cool sets, I buy them, even though they just sit here and collect dust, but I still like to keep them. And, you know, whenever we have time, me and the family, you know, we'll build 1 or 2 or whatever. Like I said, we're building a couple right now, but there's a lot more to be built. All right, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on Monday, like usual. Tomorrow I'll have a Sunday walk video, and that is that. All right, take care. Bye-bye.